I said, hey, hey, welcome to the Man Cave Happy Hour. I said, hey, hey, welcome to the Man Cave Happy Hour. We're gonna drink a fine whiskey and smoke a really fine cigar.
Alrighty, it is time for happy hour. It is the Man Cave Happy. It is the Man Cave Happy Hour. Whiskey, cigars, spirits, stories that go along with them. Pushing way too many buttons. My name's Jamie Flanagan.
I'm Matt Fox,
and we are here to do what we do on the Man Cave.
What are we doing?
Have a couple of drams.
Oh, you're getting your seductive voice going.
Oh, I am.
Yeah.
And no, but we're gonna have a little fun, and because we have a guest today.
We do.
It's normally we do just a taste, and it's Matt and I. What we'll do is we'll pull a bottle off the shelf that we've never tried before, and we do just a taste, and then we fumble through trying to figure out what it is and why it is, and but today we got somebody with us.
He came
Matthew,
all the way in from Florida
just for us.
Really?
No.
You got to go there?
Not so much.
But he's in Michigan right now because we record in Michigan, but Man Cave Happy Hour is an international podcast.
Absolutely.
Right? But he came all the way from Florida. Amani is here from Duke and Dame Spirits.
Yes.
Sir. Yeah. Welcome to the Man Cave
Amani
Happy Hour.
Macauley.
Thank you so
Amani
much.
Macauley,
So he
yes.
does this a lot.
No, stop it.
Not at all.
No.
Will you do that before we're done just for fun?
Anything for you guys.
And as I was telling him,
Ask and thou shalt receive.
I do. You got some pipes, man. You got some pipes. Seriously. But yeah, normally while we're doing the theme song, I go whiskey, cigars, but there was a image up, so I couldn't do it.
Oh, fair enough.
So we have these glorious, lovely bottles up, and thanks for joining us in the Man Cave. And we got to give a little shout out to Tony and the Wine Garden because we're in the fabulous bunker.
Yes,
the tasting bunker of the Wine Garden. It's super secret. No, but just very few human beings have been here. That's the beauty thing about the Glencairn. They're like, how full? How much are you supposed to pour in a Glencairn? That's the thing. Enough that when you knock it over, it doesn't spill.
Exactly.
Somebody was thinking forward.
Somebody said. They said, how much you put in a Glencairn, just so it doesn't spill. All right. Anyway. I've been in the bunker for a little bit today.
Wow.
So, but yeah, we're having some fun, and but we want to talk about this salted caramel whiskey. It's Duke and Dame.
Yes.
Salted caramel whiskey. So, Amani,
award-winning salted caramel whiskey. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But we want to dive into this. We want to get deep into the bottle. We want to talk about what's in here, why it's in here, the name, the packaging, and all that. But before we do, Amani, tell me about your childhood.
Well, I was actually born in Sierra Leone.
Oh, really?
Yes.
See, I love that question. See, so often, because you get it as, let's start talking about the whiskey, and it's like, I don't know about you a little bit. Seriously, so you were born in Sierra Leone?
Born in Sierra Leone,
Right on.
moved over to the U.S. when I was 6 years old.
Okay.
To the Washington, D.C. area. So I lived in Maryland, right outside of D.C.
What precipitated the move? It's
So my
family
parents came over for grad school.
Job offer at 6. He was like
Sesame Street
so
child
your
actor.
folks
Yeah,
were-
my parents came over for grad school.
Okay.
Both went to Howard University
Nice.
for grad school, and then we came over and started a new life here in the U.S.
Oh.
Yeah.
Did you move around a lot? I think we were chit chatting beforehand, and you had a few stops along the way, right?
Well, you know what? I grew up kind of first grade through 12th grade in Prince George's County, Maryland.
Okay.
I did move around a lot in the county, though.
Okay.
Okay.
I went to 3 elementary schools, 2 middle schools, and 2 high schools.
It sounds like
It
sounds like me with the
Right,
parents in the Air
right.
Force.
You guys were
know?
connecting a little bit because
Yeah.
Matt was
We traveled.
Army parents,
Yes,
or
yes.
military parents, and they traveled a lot.
How many friends can I have and lose at the same time?
Right.
From Alaska to Washington and
Yeah.
everything in between.
Yeah, your trips are a lot longer than mine. But, for me, it was actually, I saw it as an adventure, right? I got to go to this new school, make new friends,
Right.
and I loved it. I loved it.
So where in your life, once you were 21, right? Where in your life did spirits and whiskeys start catching your attention?
It was probably after college.
Okay.
In college,
It's
you drink a little,
shot.
shots and beer, cheap beer at that.
Traveling abroad.
Yeah.
tequila shots and
It's
Long
hard.
Island iced teas.
It's hard living, man. They say it's the best years of your life. It's
Man.
If
hard
you
living.
remember them,
It's hard living, is what
Boone's
it is.
Farms,
Boone's
Andre Champagne.
All right, I gotta give you.
here we go.
I gotta give you a Boone's Farm story.
All right, here we go.
So yeah, and both use, I was drinking Boone's Farm in high school. I'm such a depraved kid, growing up in the city. So we're like driving and drinking. So you remember Boone's Farm from like early drinking underage,
Right.
and whatever. And then we were DJing these clubs, right? I mean, we mentioned earlier that we DJed clubs, and there was one club on the east side called Lipsticks that we would DJ, and they would have the beer tubs, right? And the bar manager thought, that might be an interesting idea. I'm gonna order up several cases of Boone's Farm and some paper bags. And so he had the beer tub with a bunch of beers in it, but he had a bunch of bottles of Boone's Farm in there too. So you could buy a bottle of Boone's Farm,
Right.
and just have your own, and they would give you a paper bag,
Right.
And so people would be walking around, and people would be like all nostalgic, going, "Oh my God, I want one of those!" Right?
It's a
I don't know
classy
why they would
40,
say
right?
that.
It's a-
It was a classy joint. We were in a classy. Talk about bottle service.
I love it.
Bottle service at Boone's Farm. We were in. We DJ classy.
I love
places.
it. I love it.
That's our Boone's Farm story. But after college is when you became aware of a little bit more mature spirits.
Yeah, right after college, probably learned. I got my beer education
Okay.
in Philadelphia with the guys I used to work with. And then slowly but surely you start learning about scotch and bourbons, and you go to whiskey tastings. And then I ended up moving to New York City, and you start going to bars, and you want to be fancy, so you're ordering.
All right, so New York City, because what we're going to be, Duke and Dame was established in 2017.
Yes.
Right. So you're talking, after college, you're probably in what 99, 2000 time?
2000, 2001.
Right.
Yeah.
So you ended up in New York. What were you doing in New York when you got there?
So I worked in Philadelphia after university, and then
Thank you for
moved to New York City for grad school. Went to business
Okay.
school in New York City.
All right. But what were you doing before you started Duke and Dame? That's what I want to.
Oh,
that's
so
what I want to know.
So we're fast forwarding.
Just a little bit. All right. Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Don't let the
So
let
by,
the guy
by,
tell
by
the
the
story.
time
Yeah, I'm sorry,
I
I'm
started
sorry.
Duke and Dame, I was a liquor connoisseur.
Okay.
And I loved all spirits. Like I'm a big gin fan, mezcal, everything. But I like a good whiskey.
Okay.
And I was the kind of guy, I liked my scotches and my bourbons mostly neat.
Fair play.
Hardly ever drank whiskey on the rocks. I liked it neat. Wanted to get the flavor.
You're a
For,
purist.
for a younger
I'm
dude,
a purist.
Yeah.
For a younger dude, that's a bit of an anomaly, right? Because the younger my younger experience and the younger people around, always mixing it, always on the rocks, always watering it down. But yeah, so
Make it
that's
last.
it. Is that more of a New York thing?
I don't know if it's a New York
Were your
thing.
peers drinking like that as well? Were they consuming
what?
and tasting as like you were?
It's a mix.
Okay,
Some
fair
people,
play.
I think it was just my preference.
Right.
And New York, you can go to a whiskey bar and
Right.
have a flight and try different things. So that's really where I got my education on whiskeys.
Okay.
Going
That's where you
to
develop the
different-
palate for it.
Exactly.
All right.
Like one of my favorite whiskeys, bourbons, is Black Maple Hill.
Okay.
Which is really hard to find.
Yeah, I mean-
I was at this random bar in Brooklyn. Hole in the wall spot.
Okay.
I think I was waiting for a friend. We were going to some place next door, and the bartender goes, "We're talking about whiskey." Said, "I got something for you." He pulls out this bottle. There's like half a shot left.
Was it dusty?
It was very dusty. From like behind like
trying to-
three other bottles on the shelf, and he pours me the rest of it, and I was like, "That is a bourbon." It was amazing, and I spent the next like 5 years trying to find this.
Is it
find it.
still in production? Is it something you can find?
Yeah,
I mean,
know,
difficulty, but you can find it.
They you can find it now. It's typically limited.
Right.
They changed the bottle up, but
Nice.
it's still
Right on.
really good.
So, because we got so many questions about what's going on here.
Yeah.
So you progressed. You started learning about it. You were a connoisseur.
Right.
Did you graduate college? You finish up college, or you were just finished with
I
it?
finished college, finished
right.
business school.
And then, so what do you want to be when you grow up? What did you think you wanted to be when you grew up? And what are you
that's a
gonna
question
be?
right there. So going into university, undergrad, I studied engineering.
Oh wow!
All right.
Did not want to be an engineer though. I wanted to be a patent attorney.
Oh wow!
Okay.
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where the big bucks are.
There's
Well,
I say that tongue in cheek, but
He's not doing it, so they're probably not.
You want to do what with who and how?
You know what's funny? The day I decided I was not going to go to law school and no longer pursue that patent attorney route, I was in Detroit.
Oh.
I did an engineering co-op, which is you take your classes in the summertime, and then that fall semester you go work at an engineering company.
Sure.
I did that in Detroit.
Oh,
Okay.
nice. Yeah,
And
a lot of that
while
here.
I was here, I was studying for the LSAT because I was going to law school.
Sure.
And halfway through the class, I realized I don't really want to be a lawyer.
Yeah. It's an unending
So
research
that all
paper.
started
Pretty
in
much.
Detroit. But no, so then I ended up doing consulting after undergrad. And then after business school, did investment banking for many, many years in New York. And that's what I was doing
That'll
before.
drive you to drinking.
Yes, it will.
You say banking? You said banking?
Yes.
Oh, funny you should say that. 'Cause
Yeah,
that's what
that's
I do on a daily.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow. Look at
Financial wellness coordinator for a national bank that's
great.
based out of Cincinnati. So,
Wow.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah, been there.
So what led you down the path to wanting to start being involved with spirits and producing or selling spirits? What got you towards Duke and Dame?
Nothing.
Right on.
That was not part of the plan.
Best
Okay.
answer ever.
Didn't know. Yeah.
No, honestly, I got to a point where it was time to do something else with my life.
Okay.
And so I ended up leaving finance, traveled for a little bit just to decompress.
Fair.
I ended up in Miami where I was hanging out with Chima. Chima is my business partner.
Okay.
Chima used to work, he worked in finance as well, worked in New York for a little while. That's where we met through a mutual friend. We became great friends.
That's banking will get you networking, I tell you.
Yep. He ended up going back to Florida. We remained friends. Matter of fact, to this day, he's the only person that's ever had a key to my apartment.
Okay.
So you trust him.
Oh man, I'd be at work and I'd get a text like, "Hey man, I'm on a plane. I'll be there in a few hours." All right, whatever. You got the key.
Yeah, right. I don't need to
You
be
get a
there.
text that say you're out of Cheerios. But,
If there's a sock at the door, don't come in.
So no, we're good friends. And then when I quit, ended up in Florida. We're just kind of hanging out at the bar, and he throws out this crazy idea. Hey man, we should go make some flavored whiskey that tastes like Sugar Daddy or Werther's Originals.
Oh, yeah.
So this is where the idea came from. Chima years earlier was at a dinner party. Someone ordered a round of Fireball shots. And that, Fireball, right? And then posed the question, if you were going to create your own flavored whiskey, what flavor would you create? And when it got to Chima, his idea was, you know what? Just like Fireball kind of tastes like the atomic Fireball candy we had as kids, I would do a whiskey that tastes like Sugar Daddy or Werther's Originals.
Nice.
So the caramel flavor.
yeah.
Whatever was a kind of dinner time conversation. They went back to work. A few years later, here I am. I have no job.
Trying to figure it out.
Got nothing to do. And he's like, hey, man, let's go make some whiskey. And that's really where the idea came from.
Nice.
I had no idea that I would be making whiskey. Neither did he. But we took that idea. We did some research. We actually, I think the very next week, we went to a distillery, spent 4 hours there just asking
Been there, done that.
all these questions.
Today.
And we walked out of that meeting that day, and we went outside. We looked at each other with that look like,
There's something.
This
Might
is-
be
this
something.
is-
Yeah.
this is doable. This
right,
is-
exactly. It
this
might not
is-
be as impossible as we might have thought a week ago.
Right.
And from there, we actually went back to New York. We did more research. We actually started trying to, we kind of had a sense for what we wanted to create. And, well, let me back up a little bit. So at the time, what we realized there were a lot of flavored whiskeys in the market. Most consumers didn't really know flavored whiskey as a segment, right? Fireball, but no one really called it a flavored whiskey.
Sure.
They call it Fireball.
They called it Fireball.
The Red Stag. Oh,
Right, Red Stag, et cetera. But most of the offerings to most consumers tended to be very sweet, somewhat syrupy. Some had an artificial aftertaste.
Right.
They
Right.
weren't
It's a
really
synthetic feel to it.
synthetic
Yeah.
feel.
Yeah.
They weren't really whiskeys you might, come home after work, sip neat on the rocks by the fireplace, right?
Okay.
So we wanted to create something in the space that gave you a high quality whiskey that you could enjoy neat on the rocks, right? You can blend it in cocktails.
Cocktails,
That happen to have amazing aroma and amazing flavor. We wanted it to be a whiskey first, something that would be respected by your hardcore whiskey enthusiasts
Right.
who might turn their noses up at something flavored. No. This is different. And then for your consumers who might either hate whiskey, had a bad experience with whiskey, we wanted something that would bring them in too. So that amazing aroma, the amazing flavor would bring them in. So that was our idea.
I love
And
that.
so we set out to kind of build a prototype that did that. So we started experimenting with different types of whiskeys. We realized we wanted corn-based whiskey because it kind of already had, a little bit of sweetness there.
Sure. That's that farm Carmel. vein.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then the bourbons, being aged, had those natural caramel notes already.
Sure.
Right.
Yep.
So in the bottle, it's 100% corn whiskeys.
Okay.
100%.
100% corn.
Wow. Right.
It includes a 2-year age bourbon in the blend.
Okay.
And then we add 100% natural flavoring, so there's nothing artificial at all.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to diving in. I kind of am because I'm sitting there looking at the bottle going, we need to crack that. Anyway, so you did your R&D, you did your research.
Right.
What was the determining factor for the Duke and Dame itself? What was that bottom line when you tasted this one? How did it set it apart from everything else you had tried?
So I'm in New York, Chima's in Florida. We pretty much set up chemistry sets in our kitchens.
Right.
I like it.
And we're on the phone every day like, hey, try 1 ml of that and 2 ml of that.
Right.
All right.
No, that's not working. Let's, we're testing out different flavors. And finally we got to a point where we're like, oh, no, try this. Oh, I think that's it.
Right.
I created a batch. He created a batch. We put it in some, used whiskey bottle. I took it to friends. He took it to friends.
Nice.
You here, try this.
And at that point, honestly, we were kind of just messing around still. We're doing research. But, at that point, could I tell you that I was going to jump into a whiskey business? No.
Fair.
The feedback we got from friends was incredible.
Okay.
It was like, wait a minute, you made this? Yeah. Oh, my God, this is awesome. This is great. Oh, I would definitely buy this. Chima's getting the same feedback in Florida.
Oh.
And we're like, oh.
So you're getting your analytics and your data from two different areas of the country.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And mind, this, again, something we mixed up in our kitchens.
Yeah.
And so based on that, we were like, maybe we do have something here. So we get on the phone and we had a conversation, which kind of went like this. So what do you want to do? Well, what do you want to do?
How many barrels do we got to buy to make this happen?
Who's going to jump off the cliff first here?
And it was kind of like, you know what? Let's do it. And then 2 weeks later, I moved to Florida and we started a company and took it from there.
That's
Holy
that's
smokes.
amazing.
I
Yeah.
love that story.
Yeah.
So, your first launch, how many, barrels did you mix in your first launch? Did you what size of a batch did you pull together?
Well, so we actually, before that, we actually did a smaller sample batch, probably about, I don't know, 24 bottles maybe.
Okay.
And, just to kind of make sure
Again,
everything
Get your feet
Right,
wet
right.
a little bit.
Because, and we kind of skipping ahead, but, we found a distillery to work with.
Okay.
We came to them and said, actually, this is what we want to create here. Right? It's already done. We just
Are
want
you allowed
create
to
it.
say the distillery that you're working with?
Yeah, we work with Citrus Distillers down in Florida.
Okay.
Yeah, in Jacksonville,
Citrus
Florida.
Distilleries in Florida. I wonder where they came up with that. Citrus Distilleries out of Florida. I'm kidding.
And so, so we spent a lot of time, first the blend of the whiskeys.
Right.
We wanted to, if it was up to me, right, I would have flavored 100% bourbon. right?
okay.
Because I like the kick. I like,
Right.
you know,
You like that?
Right.
You like that? Not heat, but that warmth.
I like the warmth. I like the little punch, right? Obviously, we're not making this for me. We wanted something that was very smooth that would appeal to kind of everyone.
Fair. Yep.
Also, 100% bourbon is going to be much more expensive.
Sure. Yeah.
So we really spent a lot of time with that balance of the unaged whiskey to the aged whiskey to get that perfect level of smoothness, still give you a little bite, right? And then once we got that down, now the magic sauce.
Yeah.
Coming up with this beautiful flavor package that also that not only gave you amazing flavor, but this amazing aroma, which you'll see in a sec.
Yeah.
And so once we got that, then we kind of created our first batch. Got that first batch and we said, you know what? Let's submit this to some spirit competitions.
Sure. Okay.
Because if we can just win one award,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Imagine having a bottle on a shelf and it says,
Award-winning.
Yeah, right?
That
now
helps,
you
that
have some
helps.
credibility.
Yeah.
So we submitted the whiskey to, mind you, we hadn't even filtered. Right? It was like unfiltered. We submitted to 4 international spirit competitions, and to our surprise, we placed in all 4.
Nice.
The international
Congratulations.
whiskey competition, we actually got 3rd place. They only give out 3 awards in each category, so we were officially the 3rd best flavored whiskey in the world.
Okay.
That blew us. I mean, we were like, wow.
We better make some more.
Our palates are really refined over here. Wow, we gotta do this more.
And then the International Sip Awards, which is the only consumer-based award competition where consumers are the judges, we won platinum.
Nice.
So we're like, okay, consumers like it too. So it's not just us.
Right.
And then we, the New York International Competition, San Francisco as well, we placed. And we were like, wow, we really do have something here.
Yeah.
And so then we went and kind of did, our first batch. I think we probably did, I think we just did about 600 bottles the first batch.
Trying to think of how many barrels that would be. So maybe 8-9 barrels.
Yeah, well, so think about it. We have, we're blending.
Right. Okay.
So it's not,
not actual. Okay.
Right.
Fair enough.
That first batch came out and we're excited. We hit the market. Our first sale was to a bar down in Miami called Better Days.
Okay.
Great.
I love the name.
Yeah,
Better
great,
Days.
awesome bar. The owner Will was very supportive.
We're in Florida.
It's in
aren't they?
Brickell.
Brickell.
Yeah,
Okay.
down in Miami.
All right.
And we were excited. First sale. It's a great
Yay.
bar. A couple of weeks later, we find out that Total Wine was interested in picking us up. We were like, wow. Like, we weren't expecting that to happen for,
That's a major
months,
distributor, isn't it?
Yeah. It's the largest independent liquor store chain in the country. Nice. And so we thought, wow, that's great. So let's see how many stores they give us. Maybe we get 1 or 2 or 3. They give us all their stores in the state.
Oh my goodness.
So
In Florida.
Can you fill the order? Yeah.
of course, yeah. And
Hold on one second.
Exactly.
Let me get my numbers out real quick.
So
Gotta get things blended in the
right.
bathtub.
So our little projections we did, which at that point you're making up numbers, right? But still, we weren't anticipating that. Everything kind of changed. We had to go back and produce more, and we did. But that really gave us a strong foothold, kind of in the state, because almost overnight you can now find us pretty much all over the state because of Total Wine, and that was a great kind of platform to build from.
Great launch.
Great launch.
Great. So then you ended up in New York.
Yes.
Correct?
Well, so we launched in Florida. This was
Right.
July 2018.
Okay.
The next state was Michigan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we were at a wholesalers convention in Orlando.
What precipitated the choice for Michigan as a second stop?
Well, it was partly opportunistic.
Okay.
Right. Now, if you think about the top spirits consuming states in the country, you have
right.
the top 5, and then you have Michigan, who's number 6.
Okay.
So it is one of the top. You kind of want to be there.
Okay.
Right. Okay.
You guys drink a lot.
Yeah, we do.
My liver proves it. So
Yeah.
But we were at a wholesalers convention, and someone introduced us to the chairman of Great Lakes. And he liked the whiskey. Some of his senior guys came over, tried it. They liked it as well. And I guess next week or so, we started having conversations, and they said, you know what, we want to bring you into Michigan. And we said, let's do it. So that's how we came into Michigan.
All right. That was 2018 or 19?
That was the end of 2019.
Okay.
And so we really did a kind of official launch early 2020 in Michigan.
Your timing was everything in that.
Yeah, that was
man.
brilliant. That was good.
Yeah.
Man. That was like. So now you're just getting started now.
Right. Yeah, so we did kind of a soft launch end
Sure.
of 2019, but the full launch early 2020, and then obviously what happened kind of slowed things down. But we had some really great momentum early on, and we're picking that up now.
Excellent.
And then we're just now launching in New York.
That's fantastic.
Similar thing, kind of did a soft launch late last year, and the official launch, it's kind of hard to launch a new state in the middle of COVID, but we pushed through, so we kind of did the official launch in April of this year.
Excellent.
And so now we're trying to kind of build that market as well. So those are 3 markets currently.
Excellent. Well, welcome to Michigan.
Thank you. Thank
No,
you.
And you know what I'm dying? I want to try this.
Yeah,
let's get this in a glass and let's go, man.
Let's do it.
Let's pop that thing.
Pop that cork.
See?
Wayne checked in. He's like, "Sup, fellas? Salted caramel whiskey? You got my attention." All right, Wayne. Thanks for joining us, man.
Thanks, man.
Wow, Amani,
okay.
thank you, and thank you for sharing your story.
Yes, sir.
It's,
Thank you, guys.
You know, it's what's behind the glass is often as important as what's in it, and then also who you're sharing it with. And
Yes.
so, thank you for coming.
Cheers,
down.
gentlemen.
Cheers very
Thank
much.
you for having
Thank
me.
There you are.
All right.
So 100% corn is it what of the blend. So you got a little bit of bourbon, you got 100% corn, and then some flavorings. So what percentage of 100% corn, bourbon, or whiskey, and then bourbon is in here?
That's our secret sauce.
Oh, fair play. All
That's
right.
our secret sauce.
All right,
Yeah.
all right. So
Can't
there's
give
a
you all
blend
that.
there.
It's a Amani
Wow,
Achievement secret.
that
man.
hits you. No,
Yeah,
You
it
get that.
does.
You get the
Caramel.
aroma right. So it's
Oh,
very,
man.
very
Okay.
caramel forward.
Yes, it is.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
So what you'll notice when your first sip,
Yeah.
very flavorful because it's aroma forward.
Yeah.
You know that first sip, you really get the caramel.
Yeah.
Now, depending on you, some people get more vanilla, some people get more butterscotch.
I get the
some
butterscotch.
people get maple. Some
I-
people get the pure caramel, right?
The first sniff was all caramel
Exactly.
for me, and
Yeah,
then the
exactly.
second whiff was undertones of vanilla.
yes.
See, I
me.
continue getting Werther's
Yeah,
butterscotch.
you get
off
the
that.
Werther's, right? Kind of get that nostalgic,
Yeah,
right?
It kind of takes me back a little bit.
Everyone's grandma had a
Right.
Werther's in her
Oh,
purse,
yeah.
right?
Oh,
At the bottom of it, it's a couple years old. But hey,
Exactly,
yeah, the
exactly.
legs on this, the
There's some
oils.
legs in here,
There's
yeah.
some legs on there. Nice.
Yeah.
The oils
all
are
right.
hanging on, so it's going to hang on to your palate. at the
Yes,
same
for
time.
sure. So very flavorful,
Yes.
smooth. And what
Plus
you'll
it-
notice is you don't get that harsh whiskey burn.
You don't.
in the back of your throat, right? It's more of a warming sensation. You definitely get the warming.
There's warmth. There's
There's warmth
in
there.
it. There's warmth.
And it takes about 10, 11 seconds until
Yep.
that warmth actually kicks
Exactly.
in. But that's where I'm getting that toffee feel from it. Like a toffee. And, the caramel's there, but it's on the back end of the back.
The profile on the taste changes
Yeah,
slightly
it
from the
does.
profile of the nose.
It does. It does. Now, in
I'm
your
almost, it's
second
almost a
sip,
dark. My second sip, I'm getting a little.
You already-
Dark
you already got the second
chocolate.
sip? You already
I'm getting
took
a little- I'm getting a little dark chocolate in
okay,
there.
but you'd also you're getting more of the bourbon notes,
Yep.
right? So you're getting more hints of the oak,
Yep.
maybe some
Maybe that's that dark.
There it
I'm
is.
yes,
getting.
maybe
that's
some
the oak is
spice
what I'm
on the
getting.
back end.
Yes.
Yep. So that's the dark I'm getting. It's
Right.
not dark chocolate, but it's that dark little. I wouldn't quite call it smoke, but I call it dark.
It's got a nice warmth to it. What is the alcohol? Is it
35%, so 70 proof.
70
Well,
proof, right?
that's not fierce.
No.
Because a lot of bourbon drinkers, a lot of whiskey drinkers, and a lot of the bourbon clubs, everyone wants hotter. Blow my face off
Right,
with the
right.
proof. We were. It might sound a little weird. We were drinking bourbon in the hot tub the other night.
I was not taking a bath with you. I promise.
We had trunks on. He was like, I'm like, hey, you should come over and we should hot tub. He's like, yeah, sure, I'll come over and take a bath with you. All right. So it's a big bathtub. Our feet don't touch. No eye contact. There's nothing wrong
Got
with
it,
that.
got it.
Fair play. So, but we were drinking some bourbon that was it was like 116.
Yeah, it was-
you
Yeah,
know,
the
it was
overproof
just
bourbons
like,
are all the rave right now. Too.
you know, it's like those barrel picks and flamethrower level, and it's like And yeah, we were doing it, but it's hard to go all night with that.
Yeah. No, this is very easy to drink, right? And you'll see it. So as you take more sips, more of the bourbon starts to come through.
It does. It really does.
Right.
That warmth is sticking around. You still get that, that vanilla caramely toffee flavor,
Right.
but the whiskey actually is standing out after your three.
Yeah, as
two,
it goes
three
across the
sips into
tongue,
it.
the original nose happens as it's moving across your tongue for me.
Right.
And then, as it's gone, there's that dark. I'm not quite at a smoke with it.
No,
but it's
a little
it's,
oakiness maybe.
Yeah.
It's oak.
Yeah.
It's for me. It's
Yeah.
oak and spice. Most people get the oakiness. Most people get the spice. Depending on your palate, some people get some level of citrus notes.
Okay.
So some people get a burnt orange. So maybe that's.
So, and here's the thing. Again, we talked off mic. And people that have followed the show know that we're not super aficionados, and we're just guessing when we say stuff.
Right.
And it's we're getting better.
Well, no, but
as we do
but
it.
here's the thing: everyone's palate is different.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like art, right? You're going to see a painting, and it speaks to you differently than it might speak to the next person.
Yeah.
And so, this whiskey, as it hits your palate, it's going to interact with your mouth differently than. I mean, we do tastings all the time, and every once in a while, I hear something. I'm like, oh, really? You get I've had people say I get buttered popcorn. I'm like, oh wow, okay, interesting. Right?
I can see how that could happen.
Current, right? You just start hearing these interesting things like, wow, okay, I can see.
Right. It's like when you're drinking a scotch and you're getting pencil shavings and
It's not. It's not buttered popcorn. It's Jolly Rancher
buttered popcorn. No, is it jelly bellies or
Jelly Belly. No, not Jolly Rancher. Jelly Belly. The Jelly Belly. When you get because Jelly Belly has all the different flavors. The Jelly Belly popcorn, butter popcorn. That's
Okay.
That's the parallel to this. When you're butter popcorn, I'm like, maybe butter popcorn, and I'm like, no, it's Jelly Belly popcorn.
Right.
Yeah.
And so
totally
for us, when we created it, going back to that Fireball story, we've all had a shot of Fireball or some other whiskey.
Hot damn.
And typically, you take the shot and you're like, whew, right?
That's
I need a chaser after that.
Right. And I remember sitting around with Chima, we were thinking, okay, that's not the experience we want people to have with our whiskey. We want them to feel kind of the opposite. You take a shot of this or a taste of this, we want you to feel amazing, right? We want you to feel regal. We want you to feel like royalty, right? And that's really what led us to the name. But I'll come back to that in a second.
Yeah, we haven't gotten to the packaging. We haven't gotten to the name
Right.
and the lettering. We got more to do.
But in terms of just the drinking experience, we really wanted you to have this amazing, unique experience where you're getting these layers, right? So you notice, that first nose gives you one sense of, taste and feeling. And then that second and third sip, you're like, oh, okay, it's changing. It's transforming.
Keep talking. I need another
It's
layer.
transforming in my mouth. So you're getting, those bourbon notes start to creep in and round out a bit more. And people aren't used to experiencing that. Definitely not with a flavored whiskey.
Right.
And so for us, we love seeing consumers interact with the whiskey. And you kind of walk them through that tasting and you see their face light up like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing aroma. It smells great. Then they taste this like, oh, wow, it's so smooth. Then they take that second sip like, oh wow, I get the oak, I get the spice. And for us, that's what it's about. Yeah. Right?
So you know what? Now that I've had that, because you poured me a short one. I don't know what you were doing. You were like, because we were in here, and he was like, Jamie's had enough. It's been here too long. We're gonna give Jamie the short one. But nosing it before we tried it, and now I had that first dram, and now smelling it again, it's softer. It's not. It was really not overpowering, but it was really forward,
very forward
with the smell, with the aroma the first time, and now that I've had it,
your olfactory senses have adjusted to the aroma.
Your palate is starting.
Yeah,
to
it's not as.
And now your
it's not
palate
as,
also is adjusted.
It's not as forceful as it was off that first sniff and that first dram. Because when you crack it and you first smell it, it's there.
That first nose, it's total nostalgia.
Yes.
Because like I say, it takes you back to that
That's
sugar
what
daddy.
we
When you
wanted.
when you're on your bike at 10 years old, you
Yep.
go into 7-Eleven and you grab one of those
It's spot on with
giant
the candy,
sugar
dude.
daddies, right?
Spot on with the candy.
Yeah.
It
Yup.
really is.
Now, what's interesting, it smells sweeter than it tastes. There's only 1 gram of sugar per serving. Right.
So it's healthy.
This is like doing sit-ups.
Yeah. So I mean, hey, people ask me all the time. Hey man, you haven't changed in years. It's the whiskey.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, it's to put that in perspective. Jack Daniel's Tennessee Honey. They have 5 grams of sugar per serving.
Okay.
And they make a great product, but it's 5 times the sugar quantity
right.
as ours.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
It just happens to be so.
Is that why I get
forward.
jittery when I do the Tennessee?
Hey, no comment.
See, I'm allowed. No, this and then that second sip is just it starts to just linger. And
Right,
it continues to linger and it sticks around. So I'm actually kind of curious as to what this would feel like in any type of a cocktail.
Oh man, you know what?
And-
I
and-
should have.
And then how does it hold up to ice?
I should have brought. Do we have any ice here?
I don't
in the
know.
I can
cave.
check. Thanks, Tony.
We're here at the wine garden. I know there's up in the party store. There's ice. I'm not sure if there's a fridge here. We have a dishwasher. And we have like Glen Cairns to feed an army
Everywhere.
But I'm not sure if there's
No
not a
ice.
little mini fridge or anything in here.
Oh man, we should have.
But
That would've been nice.
How does this roll over? Well, you got to take your word for it, right?
Well,
The
listen.
salesman of it.
So
But,
if you
how does it
throw
hold up to ice?
you throw an ice cube in there, flavor really opens up.
Yep.
That sweetness level comes down a little bit.
Okay.
Smooths it out.
Okay.
Really nice sipping whiskey. Because
Well,
again,
you
we
were-
wanted something that you could actually sit there, sip neat.
Like an aperitif, almost like an after dinner type
After
drink.
dinner, before dinner, during dinner. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
fair.
right. And
I could keep going on this because
Yes.
there were a couple. We tried a Carmel whiskey not too long ago.
Right.
We were doing some. It wasn't Carmel. It was
was
s'mores flavored whiskey, and
We did a bacon infused whiskey as well
Yeah,
at one
but that
point.
s'mores one is pretty much one and done.
Yeah.
On that
'Cause it was too sweet.
I think I could keep going on this. I think I could do a full dram,
Right.
maybe in a second. Over the rocks. Because usually in the evening, it's like I drink every day.
You're in education, right?
It's but no, it's like I'll have a cocktail. So after dinner, I'll do pour over it, and
Right.
I'll put a crap ton of ice in it and do the pour. That way it melts and it lasts me, and I'm not drinking a crap ton. But I like to have a little.
right.
So while we're watching a TV or when I'm avoiding doing schoolwork or whatever I'm doing, so I like to have a ton of ice in it so it lasts me, and I don't have to do 2 of them. And I like something that'll hold up
Right.
to the ice, and so I'm hoping
No,
this does. I'm gonna do because you're very generous.
Thank you.
Yes.
And I will for sure to give it a test
Oh,
run over
please.
the ice.
So
when I
listen,
get home.
when you take it home,
Yep.
do the same thing, neat.
Yeah.
Throw some ice cubes in it.
Yep.
You'll see how it really opens up. Some people, it's so funny, and what I love about the whiskey is how versatile it is, right? Everyone enjoys it in their own way. Some people love it neat. I'll try to give them recipes, and they're like, nope.
Yep.
Don't mess with my Duke and Dame.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Some people like it on the rocks. If you added a drop of, say, orange bitters,
Ooh, okay.
completely changes the complexion.
Wow.
Okay.
Right? And now think of
Neat with orange bitters or rocks in order.
either, but
Okay, fair play.
I would see what I like to do. I'll do neat, ice, orange bitters. Now,
So do you want to go to the hot tub? Because I have the orange bitters at the house.
Jay, he's not just take a bath with you.
I'm just trying to get him in the hot tub. I'm totally straight, by the way. I'm relatively straight, by the way.
what happens in the hot tub?
But so no, yeah, I got the orange
Right.
bitters. I'm excited to try that. I cut you off though. You were starting to talk about perhaps cocktails and mixing.
Yes,
this and
So
recipes.
you think about all your traditional whiskey cocktails, right? An old fashioned.
Yep.
This makes
I'm actually on your website. I'm looking at the old fashioned recipe.
man.
Simple.
It's-
simple
So that was going to be
recipe.
my question: is like,
Yeah.
do you have these posted on your website?
Yes.
So you have an array of ideas.
www.dukeanddame.com.
Is it-
DUKEANDDAME.com.
Duke and Dame.
And on Instagram and Facebook, it's Duke and Dame Whiskey.
Okay.
Got it.
But no, it's that old fashioned has gotten us a lot of sales
I'm thinking.
because people always you hear salted caramel whiskey, and you're kind of like, oh, what is that? It's going to be a dessert drink. It's like, no.
I said aperitif earlier. Yeah.
Right. Let me make you an old fashioned with it.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Right. And then so think about your Manhattans, your whiskey sours. Imagine a whiskey sour with this whiskey, right?
You know
with
what?
The caramel coming through. You make it the traditional way with
Best
the egg
New York
whites.
whiskey sour.
A smoked old fashioned.
Smoked.
Just smoke
Yes,
it.
yes.
I can just.
Oh, Chima loves that. He smokes all the time.
Right.
The whiskey that is.
Yeah.
And then, but it's not just restricted to your whiskey cocktails, right? We
You opened it up.
it blends so well with everything. So if oftentimes if you buy a bottle on a shelf, there's a little cone topper on the bottle. If you flip it upside down, there's a recipe for a pineapple whiskey mule. I love that recipe because it really showcases the full range of what the whiskey can blend with.
Pineapple whiskey
Yes.
mule.
All right,
you
so
have-
here it is. I actually have the ingredients right here for
Matt,
you.
lay it down for
So-
me.
So
What's a pineapple
2
whiskey
ounces
mule?
of Duke and Dame.
Okay.
Right. You do a 1 ounce of pineapple juice.
Okay.
A quarter to a half ounce of lemon juice.
Okay.
And then ginger beer
Yes.
Okay.
on top of that.
So think about it. You're getting the tropical from the pineapple, the citrus from the lemon. You're getting the spice from the ginger beer. And then often when we make it, we'll garnish it with a rosemary sprig. You're getting the herbal from the rosemary.
Dude,
all
instead of
blending,
mint or anything like that.
We gotta-
all
we gotta hang
blending
out
with the caramel whiskey.
So not even the hot tub. We just gotta hang out.
Oh yeah, we can just go make
right.
drinks, and so you get all these flavors blended, and it's so smooth. It's so it just mixes well with everything. So balanced. I was going to say, and then so we make think about the wintertime coming up. Spiked hot apple cider, a mulled wine with the whiskey.
yeah, we need to hang out more.
That's it.
No,
So we got to
it's-
get our bartender Tara
Yes.
in here.
Oh, yes.
And what we'll do is we'll clear off because we're here in the wine garden. Tony's like so cool. His son was here a minute ago. We'll clear off the bar back there and we'll set up there and we'll have Tara come in and mix up. We'll give her a bottle to play with, and then have her make some amazing concoctions.
So
for us.
Tara,
She's,
look out for a phone
let's
call.
do it.
Yeah.
Goes great with cigars.
Okay,
My
and
fav-
we can smoke in here too. So maybe we'll pair up a cigar
Okay.
next time.
Nice,
too.
nice.
So when it comes to the cigars, is it
Well, you're
more
coming back, by the way.
Yes, you are coming back in the man cave. And Chima's got to come with you.
We still got.
Oh, he's
if he can,
he's
yeah.
listening to this right now. He's like, oh, I'm there. Trust me.
Look at this shelf.
He's
dude. Once we're done,
he's a big cigar connoisseur.
fair play.
So when it comes to the cigar piece, is it more full-bodied cigar? Is it more of a lighter cigar?
Well,
that you would do?
again, it depends on your palate,
Wow.
right? So for me, I like a lighter to medium bodied cigar. Chima tends to like a medium to darker, heavier cigar, but it pairs well with everything. So for me, my favorite cocktail to have at a cigar bar is a whiskey Negroni, Boulevardier.
Ooh.
Yep.
And for me, for my palate and for the cigars I like, it pairs so well with that. It's amazing. You get the
What type of vermouth do you use in that?
oh man.
We got Matt and I.
You know what?
Shitty reviews. We got in trouble. We got spanked.
We got yelled at.
We were. I was
vermouth.
like posting pictures of cocktails I'm making, and they're like, people are like, "You got to up your vermouth game." We had shitty vermouths, and so we were getting all kinds of trouble and grief for our crappy vermouth game.
So at a bar, you kind of go what they have.
Yeah.
But what do I have at home right now? We
So I don't even know.
I have two at home that
Okay.
I just can't remember the names.
All right. As long as it's not Gallo,
Yeah,
you're all right.
It's not Gallo.
And mine was Gallo, and they're like, "What are you even doing?" I'm like,
It's
"Oh."
not-
You like
Listen,
do you like your drinks fermented? Is that what you're
Gallo
doing?
makes some great products, man.
So-
But no, there's some other more crafty.
Yeah. There's some
know,
really good
vermouths
vermouths out there.
Yep,
Absolutely.
yep.
Duke and Dame salted caramel
Right.
flavored whiskey. You got to be careful with. We got so much to talk about. So, you got to be careful with naming and packaging and
Yes.
government. We can get all that horse doo doo later. But Amani, who is your target audience for Duke and Dame?
Legal drinking age.
Perfect. I like those people.
Yes. Yes.
I didn't
Again,
know,
best answer ever.
Yeah.
Listen,
there you go. Fair play.
our goal was to create a whiskey that everyone could enjoy.
Okay. Fair.
Right. And that's what we wanted to achieve by having that amazing aroma, amazing flavor, but still having that depth and complexity that you would normally just find in a higher end bourbon or higher end Scotch. Because of that, we figure we can bring in everyone.
Yeah.
See, here's what I like. The difference when Matt and I talk to people like in bourbon clubs and bourbon aficionados, they're dicks. Generally speaking. But because they're so uptight and they get so, you got to do it like this and it's got to be like this. And then you talk to people who are making spirits and selling spirits and involved in trying to get a product out there and just to share with the community. You're like, do it how you want to do it.
Exactly.
Where you want to do it. We're open to everybody.
Right.
And there's no it's very inclusive. Whereas like you get into these clubs and groups and like I said, people are dicks, and it's like, I love that you got an open mindset on things.
Right.
It's very cool.
And for us, it's really about can you speak to those different demographics in a way that they can relate.
Yeah.
Right. So if we are at a college bar, obviously we're going to push it in one way. Hey, you're not going to find a better tasting shot than Duke Dane.
You know what? I
down,
imagine because you got like a couple supercharged coolers that are going to be hitting the market soon.
Yeah.
Like
those chilled shot dispensers, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And because a lot of times when you chill something deep like that, you lose some of the flavor. But I think this has enough flavor that'll power through the cold.
Oh no!
Too.
When you chill this, it actually enhances the flavor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does it enhance the whiskey part, or does it enhance the salted caramel part? What would be your opinion on that?
I think it enhances the salted caramel part.
Okay.
When you chill it,
Because it's a shot, right?
Right.
When they do
Right.
that, so
because you can do a chill shot two ways.
Yeah.
You can put it in the shaker, add some ice, shake it up.
Right.
But now you're diluting it.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Or you can put that bottle in the freezer.
Right.
And now you're getting the full kind of power of it. So you don't lose the whiskey.
No,
you don't lose the kick.
Right.
But that flavor really comes, right? And it's actually because it's chilled, the viscosity increases slightly.
Okay.
So you get that
It really does
beautiful
coat your entire
coating.
palate.
Yeah. And it's just salted caramel all up.
Once you get one, we'll do an Ann Arbor
Did you
trip.
get goosebumps when you said that?
it's great.
Wayne said, "Matt, I got ice at my place. Get over here." So he's like,
love
so,
it.
yeah,
As long as you don't have a hot tub, Wayne, we're all good.
And then at your higher end craft bars, the pitch there is different. It's like, hey,
Right.
let me show you all the different things you can do with it, or better yet, let me tell you all the things you can do with it, and just let you play
Right.
with it. Those are the
a
best
lot
meetings
of-
we have because your bartenders are going to know best, right? So
a lot of the bourbon clubs and a lot of the your retail sales, to be really sexist, is geared towards the dudes.
yes,
Right? And a lot of the craft cocktails and a lot of the cocktail bars that are doing like upscale cocktails is both. It's everybody, but skewed a little bit more for the ladies because, as DJs, Matt and I don't care how many dudes are in a bar, we need the ladies in there. You get the ladies in the bar, you got to get the babes dancing.
Right.
Right? So you get the ladies enticed with it. So I mean the cocktail bars are skewed a little bit more for the ladies. It's open for everybody, but so I'm dying to get a couple cocktails.
I'm very happy that. Thank you. The generosity
welcome.
is amazing.
You're welcome.
I can't wait.
We still got more to do. We haven't gotten into the bottle yet.
So-
Yeah.
the physicality of the name, right?
Yeah, Duke and Dame.
Right.
You said
So
you wanted
you were talking
something-
royalty. You want to
Yeah.
feel regal.
I want you to feel amazing like
Regal
royalty.
Beagle. So we're at the Regal Beagle. Right? Come
Hey,
knock
I am
on
the
my
Jack
door.
Tripper. I am the Jack Tripper of the 21st century. All right.
So we're at the Regal Beagle,
Yep.
and you're thinking of a name for your
Yeah,
beverage.
yeah.
How did you guys derive at Duke and Dame while you were pounding whiskey
Please.
at the Regal
Thank you.
Beagle?
So like I said, we wanted people to feel regal, kind of like royalty. So that led us to the honorific titles, right?
Okay.
So that was kind of like step one. You mentioned something very interesting, right? A lot of the whiskey societies, a lot of the whiskey marketing is really geared towards men.
Right.
Most whiskey companies traditionally haven't marketed towards women. That's changing a little bit now. And we noticed that, right? And so when we kind of sat down and said, okay, we have this whiskey that we want people to, feel amazing when they experience it. We have this whiskey that we want it to be for everyone, right? How do we kind of capture that in the name? Well, the best way to kind of capture everyone is have the representation of a man and a woman.
Okay.
Right? And then you add in the honorific titles, the Duke and the Dame.
Right.
Now, it's not Duke and Duchess.
Right.
Right? It's not Duke and his wife. It's Duke and Dame. Dame is a female knight. So the woman in the Duke and Dame kind of is strong in her own
Dominating
right.
in her own way.
Yeah, she's
Dame
kind of
Judi
earned
Dench,
her
man.
knighthood, her damehood. And so we kind of envision this power couple enjoying their whiskey. And so for us, it really was about, okay, this whiskey for everyone, and let's include everyone in the brand, including men, including women. And that's really where the name came from.
Thank you for that.
Duke
Cheers.
and Dame. Thank you.
Well played.
Yeah.
Well played. Nah, I like that. I like that. That's
So the lettering, the font, and everything, was that something that you and Chima worked on together, or did you kind of depend on the marketing side to do that?
We are the marketing side.
yeah, fair play.
So you depended on you and Chima for it.
Yeah,
then.
bottle washer, right? Yeah.
So the name, right? The feeling, the togetherness, the kind of all inclusiveness of the brand.
Right.
Then it came down to, okay, how do we want the bottle to look? Now, most whiskey bottles tend to have, traditional look. There's a label, right?
Yes.
We wanted to do something different. We actually wanted our bottle to look like a piece of art. We wanted it to not have a label, so the entire bottle is painted.
It's painted.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, it is.
Yes.
Yep.
So there's no paper label. Now, it still has this kind of traditional look, yet kind of a modern feel. And we also were going for a design that was kind of masculine and feminine.
Okay.
Right. So you think about that logo, we put it on a hat, a t-shirt, men love it, women love it, right?
Yep.
Guys aren't like, oh, I can't wear that. It looks like it's too girly. No.
No.
It's like, wow, that
It
looks
says
dope.
Duke. It says Duke on it. It's dope.
Right. And so we actually had artists from Spain that designed the logo with kind of that guideline, like, something that's both masculine and feminine, something that's kind of attractive to both.
Nice.
And that's that's what we came up with. When we saw that, we saw a bunch of kind of designs. As soon as we saw that, both of us were like, that's it.
I'm so used to whiskey bottles and the stickers,
Right,
and
right.
But I wasn't aware that it was painted
Yeah,
on. And when you feel like, holy shit, that is painted on. That's the first time I've seen a painted on label. In all honesty, I haven't seen that on anything else that we've ever experienced.
And we wanted it to be different.
bottle,
So when you're walking
beer
past the bottle on the shelf, you're like, oh, what is that?
Yeah.
It's got a great color to it too as well. So you can see the color. That's part of the painted bottle.
Yes.
You can actually see what's in the bottle because you have some of the darker bottles that are out there. I don't know what's in it really. Right. And so well done.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh my gosh. So the bottle itself, picking because there's there's square, there's flat, there's skinny, there's so where did you come with the shape of the bottle itself? Was it what was available? A lot of times the stories like,
Well, listen, honestly, that's part of it,
and then
right?
we got to talk about these janky ass composite cork. I'm kidding, man. I'm kidding. That's the trend.
That is the trend.
I'm messing
right?
with you, but
but no, I mean we
It's not a twist off, so you're
Right.
you're a step ahead of the game.
We looked at a lot of bottle designs. It was one of those things where we saw that it was very sleek. We kind of liked just the look and feel of it. We like how it felt when you held it in your hand, and it's also
it's almost vintage.
yes.
It tips towards a vintage. You would see if this would be a prop in a western.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's got that Duke and Dame, that script, and it works on. For me, it works on this bottle because it's got it's a vintage, almost a vintage feel to it.
Now,
I like it.
just so you know, the bottle is changing slightly.
Right on.
You know what? And
Because you said there was like a cuff on it. There's like a vodka in Detroit that's all about the cuff and information on the cuff.
So
You
the
do
cone,
that on
we have that,
cone, yeah.
and it really just showcases some of the medals we won. Like I
Okay,
said,
fair play.
on the underside, it has our
Yeah.
information as well as a cocktail recipe.
right.
Very nice.
Oh, so is the bottle
Are they
shape
like
changing,
trading
or
cards?
is
You
the
got to
bottle
collect
shape
all
going to
this.
stay the same?
Are they
or is the-
different though? Can you collect like recipes like
That's a
trading
great
cards?
idea. No, they're not different. They're all the same, but that's actually a good idea. No, so the new bottle so the artwork is exactly the same. So walking past it on the shelf, you probably won't notice that it's different. But the new bottle is a little bit slimmer,
Okay.
a little bit taller, and slightly tapered at the bottom. So think about that same exact shape,
Yeah.
but slightly slimmer, slightly taller, and then slightly tapered at the bottom. So it's very, but it's more elegant looking, right? And one great thing about it is, these current bottles are made in France. Our new bottles, our new bottles are made right here in America.
Okay. Hey.
There you go.
Hey, there you go.
So, and that's the thing when it comes to being an owner or an entrepreneur, things are going to evolve, things are going to change, and if as long as you can bend to those wills and still be successful, continue to do what you're doing, because what's inside the bottle is
That's
what
matters.
one of the most important parts.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
But your presentation that the bottle has now and what it will be sounds amazing. It is amazing at that.
So Amani, thank you for hanging out. I want to do more. I want to mix cocktails. We'd
love to.
I want to get you in the hot tub. Just saying. I don't want to make it weird. I just want to be honest.
Hey.
I'm just Matt's blushing for me.
Jesus.
My goal in life is to embarrass Matthew.
I love it.
But no, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for Tony at the Wine Garden here in St. Clair Shores for letting us use the magnificent, wonderful Wine Garden bunker.
Yes.
To record.
Thank you, Tony.
Tony's a magic man. He's a hardworking dude. So, but Tony, thank you for being us here. Amani, thanks for coming in. And your partner's name again?
Chima
Berry. Chima, thanks if you tune into this. If you made it to the end, we appreciate you as well.
Chima's going to be waiting for that invite.
So
You
guys
he likes hot tubs too. So
it's great, dude. Because we've done several episodes from my deck.
Yeah.
We have not done one from in the hot tub.
No, we have not.
you know what? You've got to do it. It's like this famous comedian that does podcasts from like
in the car.
it's actually in the car,
cars.
in ice
Comedians in
tubs.
cars, yeah.
Comedians
I
in
think
cars.
a hot tub would be more
drunkards and
more
tubs.
comfortable.
Drunkards and tubs?
I think
That's
it.
like a podcast all over again. That's what that is.
All right, so if you made it this far, we appreciate you hanging out with us.
Yeah.
Man Cave Happy Hour, mancavehappyhour.com, and on all the socials. And like, subscribe, leave a comment, and then your website as well.
Yes, it's again, it's dukeanddame.com, DukeAnddame.com.
Perfect.
And social media, it is Duke and Dame Whiskey.
Okay,
You
awesome.
can find lots of cocktail recipes on the website and as well, and on Instagram and Facebook as well.
Oh yeah, I'll be trying the old fashioned. Don't get
please
me
do.
wrong.
Please do.
I'm looking forward to mixing
And the
this up.
Belvedere. I'm gonna dive into those.
One of my favorite kind of weekend drinks. I do 2 ounces of Duke and Dame, an ounce of Aperol, a couple ounces of fresh grapefruit juice.
Nice.
Shake that thing up on ice. Delicious, delightful.
That's not on your website.
No.
See?
That's secret sauce. We got a little secret sauce here. All right. Well, till next time, gentlemen. Cheers.
Cheers. Thank you so much for
Pleasure.
being here.
Thank you.